All right. Hello, everybody. So, original plan tonight to do one more flight on my around the USA, but that's not going to be able to happen. The visibility of where I was going to go, the railroad is down 400 feet, so not be able to do a VFR flight. However, I'm going to recreate kind of like a hybrid here. I really wanted to go to partake this summer for real in the 172 or even the 152. That didn't happen thanks to COVID. So I decided, hey, let's do a flight there at the Cirrus. I haven't really done a lot of Cirrus flights, and I really am digging on stuff like Simluator. So I have my own checklist that I made for POH and everything like that. And we're going to take it up north, take us about an hour total for a flight to Port Ticonderoga. So it'll be fast, efficient, and we'll get it there. We do have to fuel this thing. I do 100% fuel. Just to make sure that we are full, because let's face it, more fuel means more safety. Alright, I haven't flown this in a little bit, but we're going to go through the checklist and do this. A lot different than the 172 in just the startup procedure and everything. But other than that, it's a nice aircraft to fly, okay? Things that you want to know about the Cirrus, though, is that it doesn't look like it has a prompt, but it really does. It's actually intertwined with the throttle control. You're going to see the RPM kind of have a descent sometimes, and that's the prompt, except for the throttle control. It's going to make it just look a little weird. I didn't understand that at first either, but we learned that by researching the theory. So without further ado, let's start this up. Let's see, battery master. Battery master 2 on. Good, here, a cooling fan. We do. You want to listen for that fan. Voltmeter should be 23 to 25. It is right there, 25. Okay. But this light should be output, so it's not output. Battery master 1 should be going on. Fuel climb check down here. Boop. Fuel switch to the fourth tank. Lap X another down left tank. Flat 100%. Thanks for going down. Darn. That's very cool. Alright, oil enunciator should be on, which it is. Flashing red. Like interior, exterior, they do not have a beacon on the Cirrus. That's following real life. I'd also check the feature heat. And of course, and with the side. Strobe light has beacon. So that's it. That's great. The railroad weather, I did push the hours back a little bit. That battery master 1 is off. Yeah. Okay. That's normal. Circuit breaker should be down here. Check this is all in. Fire extinguisher will be somewhere over here. Not on the flight. Emergency crash camera. That's how the last crash. And then the cap. It's a 6-pin outfit, but there'd be a little pin that you pull out. Alright. Here we do all the pre-flight. Then we want to turn the channel power. We have on brake set. Battery master switch is on. There we go. Flight on. Picture full rip. Now we use my Logitech throttle port. A little bit more accurate. Power level. Forward. Yep. Fuel pump. Fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's better than boost. Okay, boost. Fuel pump. Power to put some force in there. Sorry, we got the side there. Oh, that's right. I don't have one. You all right here? no problem. Fuel gas, that. Right, that. Saitek. I am going to Saitek, guys. That is fine. Let's turn the batteries off for a second. Just so I can get something. It's gonna flash for a second. Sorry about that. Alright, everything loaded. Boy. Sounds like my mic is broken. Really? It's not. It's just not. Is it all scratchy? Yeah. Check this out myself. I'll try to fix that. I am using a video broadcast just from my phone. No. Turn the microphone on. Yes, I did. Is it loud enough? Probably not. Hello, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Alright, how about now? If not, I will redo the sound input for that. But let me make sure this is working while we're doing that. Yeah, it's still doing something weird. It could also be that the battery's low, or the battery's low in the actual adapter. So let's switch out the battery for the adapter. I got these new rechargeable lithium-ion 9 volts that will go in there. So see what happens. That'll take me a minute. Sorry about that. Let's see how these rechargeable lithium-ion 9 volts work. Now, and how's it working now? Testing 1, 2. Oh, there you go. Just need a new 9 volt. Now it's very loud, so let me turn that down. Yeah, it happens. That's the only way you're going to use an aviation headset with this thing. It has to have power. So, there you go. Alright, and now I'm going to check the trim wheel, make sure it's working. Which it's not. Alright, so now I have to reload SPAD. Alright. You know what? We will get there, though. And by the way, all these lithium ions are charged with solar power, so that's awesome. We're not paying for any power here anymore. So, cool. Alright. So, without further ado, let me just make sure this trim wheel's working. Which it is now, so we're all set there. Gotta make sure it's good here. Oop, wrong way. There's no visual way to check the trim. At least I haven't seen on the Cirrus yet. But other than that, should be good. Alright, now that we got everything, let me turn this key thing off. Thank you. Make sure SPAD has it for these. Wait, give me a second. Oh my god. Alright. Profile. We're good. Alright, so let's turn the battery back on. And fuel pump should be good still. So we will leave it there and we'll just try it out. Here we go. Beautiful. Start right up. Alright, we're definitely on track here now. Alright, start power level to maintain 1000 RPM. That's about 5%, believe it or not. It doesn't take much because the engine's so powerful on this thing. And oil pressure, check. It's good. It's in the green. Alternating master switches are on. Avionics power switch is on right here. And you see that everything comes alive. Very good.
Alright, engine parameters, monitoring, they look all in the green, we're good. External power out there, ammeter is good. Alright, brakes we'll check when we're going up, but they feel good right now. Flaps at 0%. And we make sure that they're going up, which they are, so that's good. Alright, radio avionics as required. I'm going to use my Saitek radio panel for this. 122.725 is the CTAF here in Plymouth, and 135.625 is the weather. So we're going to get a little weather report to find out what runway we have to go to.
Kilo Papa Yankee, Mike automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 046 at 12. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 800 feet, few clouds at 4,400 feet, few clouds at 12,100 feet. Temperature, 9er C dew point, 10 C altimeter 3046.
3046.
Kilo Papa Yankee, Mike automated weather
Alright, so it's going to be runway 6. The altimeter's at 3046. We'll do it that way. Just say 150. Very good. The barometer setting, though, is over here. So, in the back there. It's just to let you know. Can do that. And 046 at 12, so that's not bad at all. Something we can do. We are parked at the ramp at Plymouth, by the way, where they rent the Cirrus is from. No, unfortunately, the problem is that the weather out in California due to the wildfires had my destination with overcast at 400. So I'm not even gonna try it tonight. So I'm gonna do a little sub flight in the Cirrus here. So I'm sorry if you're looking forward to that, but I was going to, and then the weather once again rammed its ugly head into that plan. So, all right, checklist. I know where I'm going because I'm so used to the airport. So yeah, kind of a bummer. But it wasn't going to happen. So, and that was the forecast. Even said it was going to go lower than that overnight, like to 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff. So, not going to happen. All right, runway 6 it is. What we can do is take a right out of here. No, we'll still do the left. We'll do the left and we'll go down the taxiway all the way to runway 6. We might even cross runway 624. So here we go, testing the brakes on our way out. Parking brakes off. And brakes are good. And it doesn't take much power to get out of here. But yes, those wildfires, they're causing mayhem out there. I was even gonna try to fly around the TFR that's out there for them fighting the fires, but just the destination, and there was no alternate airport around it. But not only that, I just wouldn't go in real life anyway, so I was like, I'm not gonna do it. But enjoy the Cirrus, because I haven't flown this in a while and I've been enjoying this on some flights. So, should be good. We are on VAT Sim, but I'm not even going to use air traffic control on this one. There's only Boston Center. I don't feel like having flight following on this, so we're going to remain, in fact, I should probably check that. VFR, Alt, VFR, good. All right, back. Looking left. Lots of good visibility in this plane right here. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Nautical Foxtrot, crossing runway 624, Plymouth. Yeah, I really do too. I know that the Garmin suite isn't complete in this yet, but like the engine parameter, there should be like a whole thing with just engine diagnostics that they don't have, but it's good, especially for nights like this where I have to work tomorrow, so I can get to the destination faster. But I do have a checklist that I'd be willing to share with everybody after I make sure it's really good. There's like 2 errors I got to fix on it, but it's been working well other than that. So. Okay, we'll also mode see this so they can see me. But there's a run-up area over there that we're going to use too for the Cirrus. And again, it'll be runway 6. And by the time we get to Ticonderoga, it might be a little bit towards the evening, so we'll see if the nice skies come out with that. We'll be climbing to 8,500 feet. And it should be a good flight, you know. Should be very nice looking. And hopefully it won't end up like San Francisco earlier today. I did a stream earlier, And the sim just kind of froze to 9 frames per second, and then it just didn't move. But other than that, I restarted it. It worked fine. I don't know what the problem was, but it was just there, so. Can't believe how powerful the engine is on this, though. And that was one of the first things I noticed when we started flying it on the simulator. I was like, whoa, this thing kicks butt. Yep, sorry. Zooming in on Simualtor so we can see where we're going with this later on. Okay, turn into for the run up over here. But after I get my instrument rating, whatever that is, hopefully start next year. Still building cross-country time towards it in real life. We'll maybe try to take the Cirrus out, just renting it. I would never own one. It's too expensive, so. All right, strobes are supposed to be on already because the engine's on, so I fixed that. Okay, before takeoff, caps handle, verify the pins removed. Seatbelts, shoulder harnesses, doors, latch, brakes, hold. They're working. Flight controls. In, right, out, left. They look good to me. Trim set for takeoff. And again, I can't see any visual way of finding the trim, but if you go mouse over this, it says 0. There should be a visual way somewhere. Don't know where it is. I even asked on a YouTube video where they flew a Cirrus, so. Autopilot disconnected, flaps set to 50%. I'm going to check that they're going down to 50, which they are. Very good. All right, flight and engine instruments, check. Everything's in the green here. I don't see anything weird. There would be another screen if they actually had it in this thing. And fuel quantity confirming. We are full still. Fuel selector, fullest tank. We're going to leave on the left. Propeller check. Now do this propeller check. Like I said earlier in the stream, this power throttle actually has a controllable pitch prop type thing in it. So it's going to have a detent to it. And that's what they say. They say RPM rises to approximately 2,000 RPM. And manifold pressure increases slightly as the power level is set in detent. So let's keep going. You'll see the RPM go down a little bit. See that? At 2,000. You can see that it rises a little bit. So do you know that it's good on the prop check? Power level is 1,700 now. It's so delicate that I'm still getting used to like power settings. So I guess around 25% power would be there. Alternator check. It is good. The bus is good. Pitot heat on. Very good. And avionics on. They are. That's this button right there. You don't need ice protect on. I don't know why that's on. Nav lights on. Okay, landing light on. We're going to keep it on because it's under 10,000 feet. We will be under 10,000 feet. And it says verify both alternator 1 and 2 caution lights out. Positive amps. You don't have the 1 and 2 warning lights here, but you can see that it's charging with the bus there. It's at 28 volts. So what's that? Oh, that's the engine gas temperature, so that's going to help us. I'm almost done with the run up here. So magnetos check. We'll go to right. See the RPMs right here? That looks good. Back to both. Now left. Good. Back to both. Alright, transponders set. We already did that, but we'll double check. Transponder, alt, squawk, and everything. Okay. And nav radios, GPS set, which it is. We're already on the CTAF here. And pitot heat as required. So we don't need it. We're going to turn it off. So they're just letting you know that's off. All right, normal takeoff, power level full forward, instruments checked on the way out. We release the brakes, elevator control. We're going to rotate at 70 and we're going to climb at 101. So I have to remember that because it's a lot different than the Cessnas I'm used to flying. So without further ado, here we go to runway 6. If there's a problem with the takeoff, full mechanical emergency, otherwise there's enough available runway ahead of us, we will abort takeoff and land directly ahead. If we are under 850 feet and there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will land directly, have no more than 30-degree turns. Best glide speed is 88. If we are above 850 feet and there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will take a turn to C46. So, turn to the left, land downwind on the taxiway, the grass, the runway, whatever's available to us. Best glide speed is 88. All right, with that, we're good to go. Plymouth traffic, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, departing runway 6, departure to the northwest, Plymouth. And I didn't see any traffic on downwind, base, final, or crosswind, so we're good to go. Here we go. But this thing is pretty fast for a piston aircraft, and that's why we're taking it on today's flight, which is a sub for one of my around the USA flights because the visibility is just terrible out there with the wildfires. Just update anyone that joined the stream a little later. All right, here we go, lining up on runway 6. Very good. In the middle, feet on the floor, and one more time, we're going to rotate at 70, climb at 101. Full power, here we go. 50. We retract the flaps at 80, so because we're at 50% flaps. And rotate. Good. We got. Visually, I try to go about 12%. Because that usually gets me to about 101. I'm going to try flying this by hand today. You see that the speed's climbing. And I actually saw this on a YouTube video too of them showing you how to take off and do the pattern. He pitched about 12%, so aircraft is pretty accurate on that. We'll lower it just a little bit to get to around 101, best climb. Okay, I've got to take the flaps up. I just did that, so now we're good. Now it should reach 101. There you go. So yeah, pitch up for 101. So actually it's more like 17-ish. I mean, I'm sorry, 13-ish. And looking to the left, we're clear. We're going to turn left. 45 degrees, which will make it about 0.15 degrees. Just to angle out of the pattern. This does climb pretty fast. Go right rudder. And we'll keep climbing to 8,500. That's so we can go over class Bravo and get a good view out there. So I'm going to switch to my map. And we are above the jet pattern almost. I'm going to take a left on course. And I'm using GPS for this flight because I didn't really write all the plans and the checkpoints up. But they have the windmills like there are in real life out of Plymouth there. So that's pretty cool. Pitch up slightly. Right about pitching a little too far. And I'm getting a little cloud there. That wouldn't happen in real life, but we'll just call it haze for now. How's that? All right. We also went way too far there. But we got to hit above 7,000 before we get to the Class Bravo airspace in Boston. So no flight following needed as long as I'm above Class Bravo. In real life, yeah, I'd probably call approach up and do the thing. Okay, we're going to lean out the mixture a little bit. That's the one thing I don't understand about the smiles. I'll lean the mixture out. I'm almost halfway right now, and the RPMs barely went up at all. So you tell me. But sure does take off like a rocket. I mean, we're already at 4,000 feet. and we're close to Bravo airspace, but we're not quite there yet. So. Fort Ticonderoga, we should see south of the airport, which is the big historical landmark there. We actually had a fly-in with the Virtual USA Flying Club this summer that I actually hosted, where we flew to all these Revolutionary War things, but I wanted to fly back to Ticonderoga in the new simulator because that was done in prepared version 5. We're above the clouds, so that's good. This kind of reminds me of, again, my flight to Nashua, New Hampshire. You know, as long as I'm above, I'll do a left 360 if I have to, but if we're going to be above 7,000, we'll be fine. They can't really say anything. So, we'll see what happens. If I'm above 7,000, one time I trolled them really bad back in the day. I flew right around the outskirts of Class Bravo, and had some fun with that. So, but all right. So you know what? We will play it safe. We're gonna do a left 360 here just to climb a little bit more. So here we go. Going to the left. Right about there, and we're definitely gonna be above 7,000 now. So. You shouldn't have a problem with me being above 7,000. But it was funny because when I did that flight to Nashua, New Hampshire in the real world, that was my first real, oh yeah, we're going to make it. We're going to go above Class Bravo. And we did. I was with Approach, though, the whole time. And they kept saying, do you want to transition Class Bravo? Do you want to transit? And I was like, no, I'm good. I'll stay outside of it. So, it's all good. Again, we're clear here. There's no traffic. We're above the clouds. It was very much like this when I went to Nashua, too. It was broken clouds. I had to go above. So, but we found an opening, and we made it to Nashua. It was all good. That video is on the Eric Flight YouTube channel if you want to check that out later. I went with a friend of mine that is not a private pilot yet. He's been going after it for a while, and he had to take a break due to cost, so I got him up there in the air with me. But we're at 7,000 now, so we'll continue on course as soon as we're done with this 360. And typically, Boston Center really can't do much now because I am already over 7,000 feet. Not that I'm trying to troll them or anything, but just, you know, I just don't really want to be bugged with flight tracking. So, honestly, I was quite shocked at the fact that Boston kept asking me, do you want to like start your descent and transition to Bravo? So it really just depends on the amount of traffic that's there to go through Bravo. I don't think it's really that hard. They can deny you, obviously. But they asked me at least 3 times during the flight if I wanted to transition through Bravo. But the cool thing was we got to see jets coming out of Boston go right up in the clouds right in front of us. And that's probably why I would contact Approach in real life. But again, tonight, I don't want to be bugged with it. I just don't feel like dealing with it. So, but they were very understanding and very communicative on the fact that I could use it if I wanted to. Like even on the way back from that flight, we went around Bravo because I wanted to make it scenic, number one. And number two, I didn't want to have to worry about the clouds that seemed to be at 7,500, which is the altitude I would have climbed back. So I didn't want to go to 9,500. So, all right, we're definitely going to have to trim down here now. And we'll set power for like 75% or so. And I still don't get the mixture on this thing. Like literally, I could pull back the mixture halfway, and I don't see a difference in RPMs here. But I'll keep pulling it back because it does stumble at a certain point. But right about there, I guess, with the mixture. But really don't understand what's going on with that in the model. 75% is normal cruise power. economy is like 55, I think. So. And as far as the trim, I got nose down. Yeah, that's not bad, 1.3%. And I'm looking at my vertical speed right here. And I mean, that's it. I mean, we're flying it by hand here. It looks pretty good. I'm not that far off. And we're good to go. But yeah, it's not tough to get Bravo clearance as long as there's not tons of traffic. So I've never been denied approach either, because they can also deny you there if they're very busy, if they don't want to watch you for flight tracking or flight following. I mean, or traffic advisories. So I have had air traffic control one time on my flight to Chester just not contact me back when I asked them to close flight following. So I just kept the squawk code on there and landed, but it is what it is. I'm going to back off on the power a little bit. See that? That's that variable pitch propeller and the throttle, which is a little weird. So you have to understand what's going on there. I'm going to be like 70% power now. Ground speed's 156 knots and saying it should take an hour to get to Ticonderoga. So, but we're very close to the top there, so I don't want to go nuts here on the power. That's because I'm descending. Let's pull this up a little bit. Ah. So yeah. Here we go. But see, by having that cushion, I was still out of Bravo, which is the good news. And let me show you on Simualtor where we're going with all this. However, it's... Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So, we left Plymouth there. We did a 360 here. We're going all the way to Ticonderoga, which should be up here somewhere. So I don't know why it's not showing that, because they don't have 4 Bravo 6 as an airport known on Simualtor. Okay, that's cool. You know, it's all good. But we will see Boston out here as soon as I make sure that we're trimmed out. A little bit more power there. Let's see what 66 does. Boston will be off to our right over there, and it looks a lot like this in real life. It's a lot easier to see checkpoints like Brockton, which is a big city outside Boston. It's off to our left. So, how's that trim doing? Nose up 1.6. Okay. Trim down just slightly. And let's take a look outside the aircraft. Whoa. So Boston's out here on our right. And this is real world weather just during the day. So it's daytime settings of real world weather. Off to our right would be Hanscom, I think, Air Force Base. Or an old, no, that's not Hanscom. That's Weymouth. That was a Naval Air Station right there. They closed that a while ago. City of Brockton, right over here. And Boston, which we will look at as we get closer. So I do have to descend here, though. We'll leave the power right where it is, 66. That seems to be good. What's maneuvering speed on this puppy? Maneuvering speed is 133, so we're a little fast on that too. Slow down just a little bit. Not that there's any harsh winds out there, but you see that RPM? That's the prop kicking in to the best setting, I guess. And I was freaking out when I first did this. I was like, what the hell? What the heck's that thing? What's going on? But it does eventually settle to where it needs to be. Any real world Cirrus pilots out there, let me know if that's like real life, because I have no clue. But I was a little freaked out on that one. Come on, even out. It's a little concerning, isn't it? I wonder what our air traffic control friend is saying on there. 'Cause isn't he like streaming for like 10 hours tonight or something? I thought that's what he said on his Twitch hours ago. But if he doesn't have to worry about me, we're fine. If he does, he just has to tell other aircraft in the area, hey, look, watch out. But, alright. I don't know what's up with this detent stuff, but I didn't think so either. But for some reason, the detent on this, it doesn't stay. Yeah. So, I don't know what is up with the detent on certain power settings. Get normal power, they said best, you know, basically basic cruise is 75. But the pitch and stuff, which, I mean, the prop which is in the power handle here, even the mixture, look at the mixture. Like, you're telling me that that's real? Like, the RPMs are still up there about 2,500 where I want to be. But, I really don't know. So, if I ever fly a real Cirrus, I'll let you know. But, the Mike Goulian School of Flight at Plymouth actually offers training, but they book in half days and full days, and boy, is that expensive. It's like $600 for a full day of lessons. And I think last time I checked, he quoted me like it'd take you about 5 days to get through the program and to get signed off on renting a Cirrus. The first day alone is just going over the electronics, so that's why I also wanted to fly the Cirrus to get used to electronics. But Boston's right off to our right there. And that looks an awful lot like real life. I actually went to college in Boston. Buildings aren't loading very fast, though. So, my frame rate's decent. We're in frame rate of 30 territory, so you wonder why that's not loading as fast as it should, but it's doing its best. So, yeah, I wouldn't think it'd be bouncing around the RPMs, though, in the power, but the manifold pressure's here, so. And I think that Cirrus did that. They put the pitch prop in the throttle, so that way, even though it doesn't have retractable landing gear, they wanted to make it simpler for pilots to fly the Cirrus. Because I think it's, if I remember right now, my training, retractable landing gear, pitch prop, and oh god, I forget what it is, but there's 3 things, and then you need a complex rating to fly that type of aircraft, so. But we are 57 minutes out from Fort Ticonderoga, so it's amazing that you can do an hour from Plymouth to Ticonderoga, New York, upstate New York, in a propeller plane, which makes it cool. There's this guy on YouTube, hello, called Nico's Wings, and he flies the Cirrus for business and pleasure. Now I'm descending too much because the trim's going everywhere in this thing. Oh my god. Alright, just settle the trim here. I haven't been touching you that much, like seriously. There's that detent again. That's what I thought, yeah. But it's doing some weird funky things on the simulator. Oh my god. And the trim is way too sensitive. Hi, Sharitha, how you doing? From Nepal, correct? I remember. Props to Sharitha. Yep. Alright, I'm going to keep fiddling with this power till it can be set in one place with the trim. Be nice if it wasn't so delicate. I do. I remember you from when I did my flight the other day in California, where I had to deviate to Salinas due to wildfire smoke. You're supposed to land in Monterey, but I had to do that. And so that detent thing again. That's right, you did. I appreciate that. Boston off to our right. my former alma mater, Berklee College of Music, down here, and downtown Boston over there. So when I flew over this in real life, I thought that was awesome. I do. I am on VAT Sim right now, so that would probably not be possible if people that just fly Microsoft Flight Simulator. But I did that night too, that you watched the other night when someone else was viewing. I said, hey, if you want to pop on, come on. And we did that, so. And we have another member of the Virtual USA Flying Club here as well, who is watching the stream. So, yeah. So I have no problem people join in. The problem is that, like, this was a last minute switch, again, because of weather out in California. I couldn't continue with my around the USA flights. Now I'm finicking around too much with the trim here, so I'm getting a little off course, but we'll get back on course. It's just a lot of things to worry about in these models. So they have some touching ups to do. But yeah, Virtual USA Flying Club, we all like basically have fly-ins and stuff. We do that, and occasionally I post there and people join me. And we had a viewer a couple flights ago when I was doing a California flight for around the USA flights. They joined in. So Fritz, I don't know if you're a VAT Sim member or if you know what VAT Sim is, but it's like an online air traffic control system that has multiplayer capabilities outside of the Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer. So we are currently heading northwest towards Framingham, Massachusetts, which is out here in the distance. But yeah, we should probably set up more multiplayer flights. We probably should. And if I can get some advance notice, I have kids, so it makes it a little hard because they go to bed. I'm like, all right, I gotta jump on here. No one's around. But in the future, I'll try to get some advanced flights. But if you join the Virtual USA Flying Club, you'll see, because we have a whole thing on, it's on Discord. You'll see the link below. If you're on Twitch, and I might have put it in the description for YouTube. Let me see if I can get the Discord link here. Give me a second. But you can check us out. We're just a group of general aviation pilots. And we do fly-ins and stuff on the VetSim network and do a lot of flights off and on that thing. We've been, well, not me personally because I haven't had time, but a lot of members have also been flying the challenges and stuff and comparing the scores on the flight simulator, so it's a good time. But we shall make it to Ticonderoga tonight. Again, I wanted to fly this in a 172 this summer, but COVID kind of destroyed those plans. Well, I'll tell you what, why not add me, Eric Flight US, and then that way you'll get to see it. So, yeah, add me on there, Eric Flight US. But I'll probably usually flying during evenings. I'm in Massachusetts, so I don't know where you are. And typically night and weekends, sometimes I fly during the day. Oh yeah, you can still do it. Obviously there are quirks like with the things here and there, but I usually just plan out my flight like I do in the real world with a flight log, and I do the real world winds aloft, and I do checkpoints and stuff. Tonight I'm just following the GPS, but yeah, you can. It works pretty good with VFR and cross-country practice. So, yep, especially with the satellite imagery. Off to our right there is Bedford Airport. That was one of my visuals, checkpoints on the Real World Nashua trip there. So, take a look outside. But yeah, you can see the visuals. This is very close to real life because of the satellite imagery. Yeah, so like, you know, if I pick up on a Sunday night like right now or another evening, you know, you'll get to see if I'm online when you add me on Microsoft Flight Simulator, so. Yeah. Mike keeps asking me, the founder of the USA Virtual Flying Club, keeps asking, the Virtual USA Flying Club, keeps asking me to do those competitions, but I don't get the time with the kids and stuff at the times that you need. There's a fly-in tomorrow night, though, and what was that? It was tomorrow night. We're doing Lake Tahoe Experience, so at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. They have this whole flight out there in Lake Tahoe, and I would have to see if I can do that or not. But I am teaching remotely from home for my real life job, so it all depends on kids, bedtimes, making sure I got all my lessons planned and stuff, and getting that done. So now I did leave real world flights on, so that's a real American Airlines flight 2682, and I have flight radar 24, so we can kind of see what that's all about. So that's, well, it's good and bad, you know. So what was that, American Airlines? I just missed it, didn't I? 2682, I'll check that up. 2682, and we'll see what it pops up with in FlightAware, but it is Chicago to Boston. It's a Boeing 737-800, and it's supposed to arrive there at 10:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we're in Standard Time, yeah, or Daylight Time, whatever. 10:30 tonight, so it should be landing there anytime. But FlightAware, Flight Radar, not FlightAware. Flight Radar 24 is a cool program to have. So I live underneath a standard arrival route for Boston in real life, so my son and I will be grilling on the porch like, oh, there's a jet there. I actually use this thing called a Aver because I don't fly enough, I feel, to pay for ForeFlight. But Aver is an EFB. It's free. It's for Android too. I don't own Apple products. I'm just not a big Apple fan. And this D10 is killing me. So with it being free and stuff, I have an ADS-B receiver that hooks up Bluetooth with it too. So I get ADS reports and all that stuff. There's another JetBlue over there, 688, real life flight. So that's what I use. ForeFlight is definitely the standard. It's what I see all around almost everywhere, but Aver does everything I need, and it also hooks up with the simulator with a GPS out module that you load in the PC. So that's what I'm using right now. Yeah. But if I were to fly every day, yeah, I would probably, I mean real life flying, I'd probably go a ForeFlight. But who knows, maybe after I do my instrument training, hopefully starting next year, we'll look at that. But I need to fly more. I like to save my money on other things like for actual flights. But I still have the budget for flying. The good news is that I have another YouTube channel that's not flight related. Actually, it's do-it-yourself repairs and stuff, and I've been doing that for years, and that actually pays for all my flying. Believe it or not, it paid for my whole private too. It didn't do it at first, but we started making more money as we went along by posting more videos, and it helps people out at the same time, so it's a win-win. And the Eric Flight is my second YouTube channel, which doesn't make anything really, but it's fun to document my flights because I probably would do that anyway. So it's just a hobby right now, which could give me a little income for flying, which would be awesome in the future. But I like just helping people out, honestly, even on that other YouTube channel. It all started with a car repair video to help people, so then I started making money. Because back then you could make money right away on YouTube also. They didn't have this whole you have to wait. But yeah, it lets me take friends and stuff up, and this D10 is killing me. Come on now, just stay in one place. Computer kick in. Because if I have to keep trimming like this the whole way, I'm going to be pretty angry. Ah, why, Fritz, do you have a YouTube channel that you do, or? God, this trimming stuff and the power, it's killing me. It's usually not this bad. But we're on course. We're about to fly over Fitchburg. Well, Fitchburg would be to my left, so we're almost at the border of New Hampshire here. And below us is a closed airport, which I don't know what that is, but let's take a look outside as soon as I know my trim's are pretty good. There you go. Looks very much like what you see in the real world. So yeah, that's cool. So Fritz, you a pilot in real life? Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely good for a pilot. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't very good at mechanics. I remember in high school I took the, what's it called, the ASVAB or something, which was the military aptitude test, just to see what I would do. Oh, cool. And I didn't score that high in mechanics. I did well in everything else. I was really good at computers. So I'm the type of person where if I could save money by doing something, I'll do it. Because again, save the money and put it towards flying or something. So the last couple of videos were lawnmower repair for the end of the season to fix it all up. But if I can help people and I make a little bit of change at the same time to pursue other hobbies, we do it. So, and we are on course here. Again, Fitchburg would be out to our left, which has 2 runways, but they closed one of them. So that's another destination I'll be flying to in real life, just to say I went there, but really not much to see there, and it's really hard in COVID times as a private pilot to really justify going somewhere if there's not much to do. But I'm just hitting destinations and getting the cross-country time in for that instrument rating, so that's what my flight instructor told me to do, who was a co-worker of mine before I even started flying. I actually had to teach in his room one time, and I was like, yeah, I've been flight sim since I was 18, and I really want to get my private pilot license, so I will, yeah, and then we can fly together. Can even give me a couple tips as a CFI, so. But, do you fly Cirrus in the real world at all, or are you more of a Cessna Piper guy, or? This trim is amazingly not staying. Stay at 8,500. All right, well, we're definitely on course. We're about to cross into New Hampshire. Typically, that's when we start seeing more mountains. But this looks really good. And you know what I forgot to do? It's not a big thing, but I forgot to change the background to a Cirrus background. So here you go, on the webcam. Just take a minute to load there. There you go. More appropriate, because we're flying the Cirrus. And we're getting very close to that thing. So let's lower the power a little bit. Still have a ground speed of 148 knots. Have to trim up. Yeah, I trained in the Cessna 152 for expenses, and I got checked out in the 172 after I got my private. So now I fly a little bit of both, but had to get used to the extra weight of the 172 and landings with that. So that's why you see a couple of my real world videos with the 172. I'm really trying to get more of a hold on. It's not that I haven't taken people in it and everything, it's just it's not even feeling more comfortable in the 152. It's just, it seems a little easier to fly, but you can't carry as many passengers, obviously, because of the weight, the useful load. But I still like it, flying it solo, because my wife will not fly in the plane with me, and she won't let my kids fly with me, so I'm flying solo a lot of the time. But all right, cool, and hopefully we can fly together on this thing pretty soon. That'd be interesting. So you can give me your insight as a CFI. But I do appreciate you coming out tonight, checking out the stream. And yeah, thanks a lot. But it does look really realistic. So the thing that I'm worried about in the future is the seasons. Because my brother and I were flying the other day, and we tried changing it to autumn, and if anyone knows anything about the Northeast, the trees change color here with the leaves. You might know that from previous versions of the flight simulator. And yeah, they didn't change. However, if you set it to snow, it does cover the whole ground in snow. So if it's snowing, there's snow on the satellite imagery, which is cool. It looks very realistic as well. So But we're still 44 minutes out because we had to lower the speed slightly because this thing keeps going up and down with the trim. But I'll try to keep pushing it here. So I don't know why it's doing that D10 thing all over the place. Come on. Stay in one place. I mean, I could just set the autopilot and be over and done with, but what fun is that? You want to fly things by hand, you know? So. We're going to have to set this up pretty good when we get to Fort Ticonderoga. The runway is 4,000 feet, actually, so that's not that bad. That's a good-sized runway, but there's only one, so. And we'll check the weather when we get there. So we'll see if there's a crosswind or anything at all. But, yeah, this D10, if Fritz is saying it, I agree with them. It probably isn't going to keep going up and down like that. It'll automatically be set by the computer, the variable pitch in the throttle handle there, so. Yep. Trim down. It's usually not this fussy. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's what it feels like in the one when you go on for 152, 172, and usually the 152 you don't have to trim a lot at all except for cruise, and then the 172 I'm like going up a little bit with the takeoff. So cool, awesome. So well, I'm glad you checked it out, and I'm glad that we could have so much in common. So that's cool. So keep in touch, definitely. This is what I do when I can't fly for real, and I actually get some time. So, but I might fly the Cirrus real world later on. I'll just have to save up some money. So maybe the YouTube channel will keep making more and more, and we won't have a problem with that. But then we're thinking about buying an aircraft later on. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I already started that fund on the side, but it's not anywhere close. Yeah. But I really do appreciate you coming out tonight, so that's awesome. And we are definitely in New Hampshire now. We just crossed the border. We are near Jaffrey Silver Ranch, Kilo Alpha Foxtrot November, which is right off to our left. And 38 minutes away from Fort Ticonderoga, which to me I think is amazing. That, again, a propeller plane can go that fast. We have a ground speed of 148 knots. We're typically in the 172. If you get 105, that's pretty good. 110's even better. 115's good. But, yeah. Take a look outside again. Welcome to New Hampshire, where the mountains start popping up. Oh, cool. Thanks. Well, I'll try to stick the landing here. So, but the last couple ones in the Cirrus have been good. So yeah, have a great dinner, and thanks for the support. Right, we're making our way. So we're passing Kilo Alpha, Alpha, that was good. Kilo Echo November pretty soon. Dylan Hopkins, otherwise known as Keene Airport, which will be off to our left. And we actually flew this before when we had a fly-in with the Virtual USA Flying Club too as well. We went to New Hampshire, and I did all the non-controlled airports in this Cirrus, so. It's leveling out a little bit. I'm just not happy about the power because it's very close to this don't exceed speed, so. And maneuvering speed again is 133, so. There's that detent again. Trimming up. It's doing that thing again. Oh. I don't know what's up with that detent, but crazy. Alright. Keep flying here. Trying to look for interesting points I could point out here. It's really not much. Maybe Manchester. Way in the distance out there. Can't really see it. Wait, that must be it out there. That's Manchester International Airport there. One of the major airports in the area. Really, there's just a lot of green and scenery and lakes. That's about it out here. Keene is that way. Actually, more to the side. So, yeah. Nice scenery in the simulator, though. And it's too bad that they don't have the fall textures, because that would be pretty cool to see the foliage change when it's fall. A lot of people do that in real life with piloting. I'm trying to get my wife to get into plane with me, honestly, to do that. I'm like, come on. I don't know. Tell your mother and father just that, you know, you have some other thing to do, because they don't approve of me flying at all with anyone. And we'll go up, I'll take you in the pattern, we'll see how it works. You don't like it, okay. If you think we're okay, we'll fly up to New Hampshire, check out some foliage, and come back. Do the scenic route, so. But I haven't really gotten an okay on that yet. Still a lot of hesitation, so just give it time, be patient, and we'll see what happens. But I'm going to be flying some of my friends again in October. I already asked them today. I was like, hey, if I can get a flight in October, let's go up and do something. And we'll just keep building that cross-country time. But it'd be nice to be able to go to restaurants again and not fare anything. So if COVID could just go away, and it looks, go towards the Himalayas. I'm not going to do that right now, but, you know, they do have that, I forget what it is. Is it Lupka, something like that? That really hard airfield to land on. I will do that someday, just not tonight. So I'll put that on the list, okay? We'll do something around Nepal, and we'll do the Himalayas. But just everything's working really good on the simulator. I was really worried about it this morning when San Francisco was basically crashing the simulator. So I don't know what that was all about, but we are approximately halfway there. We got 33 minutes left of flight, according to my GPS. 144 knot ground speed. We're making things happen, so. Again, we can do the range over here. Here's the button. We'll zoom it out. You can get to see exactly where we're going with this. 4 Bravo 6. We're almost halfway there, which is cool. And the trim seems to be a lot better, even though I'm a little faster than I want to be. I'm leaving it. I'm not going to keep chopping that power left and right. So here you can see Keene to our left. Yep, right there. It's one of the airports I landed at during that fly-in. Keene, New Hampshire. So yeah, really cool. again, cities and towns are gonna be few and far in between. But I used to gig in my something just happened there. I used to gig in my younger days, and sometimes we'd take the trip up here to New Hampshire. It's like Sunday River. Went to Vermont a couple times, and I went to this other place to gig. It was right near the border of Canada, so that was cool. But driving through these mountains and stuff was quite the scenic route, and in Maine and stuff like that. So, well, that was quite the downdraft there. I don't know what that was from. We're not really in the bigger mountains yet, so go with it. That's again why you want to be around maneuvering speed, so that way if you have any abrupt things there, it won't kill the plane. And Discord, someone just kind of did something there, so I don't know what that's all about, but I guess there's another poll out there, just came up. But what simulator we use. So, but I have not really touched prepared since this came out. Even though this is far from perfect and the taxiway signs are all wrong at the airports, you can't beat this scenery. This is very much like real life. So there's nothing that's going to beat that's out there right now. Not even, I mean, I guess Ortho with X-Plane could rival it, but this is gorgeous scenery all across the whole world, so. So nothing really of interest I could show you here except for just how beautiful it is outside the aircraft. So we might have the sun setting a little bit as we get to Ticonderoga, maybe. So we'll get to see that, and be good. But 2,500 on the RPMs. That's where I want it. I do have to check the fuel tank though to shift it over, so it has to be on boost if you're going to do this, or else it will quit on you. So I'm going to flip to the right fuel tank, start using that one till that's evened out. That's probably why I might be shifting to the right a little bit more, because the right fuel tank is a little bit more full than the left. But typically, I guess if you're flying a Piper, you get a stopwatch and you shift it every 15 minutes. I think that's what they usually do. I'm not used to doing that because I usually fly a Cessna, which has gravity fed, and you set it to both most of the time. You can't set it left or right, but you set it to both most of the time to have a cross feed. So, but we're making good time now. 28 minutes out. Believe it or not, we're going to go from Plymouth to Fort Ticonderoga, New York, and we're going to be there in 28 more minutes. That to me is just amazing. So, I really would like to fly a Cirrus someday. I just don't feel like it's prudent at this time until I get my instrument rating, so that I can be as safe as I can be as a private pilot first. But we'll see. It's also COVID, so there's again not many things to do once you get off the plane. I have an e-bike I usually put in the back of the 172. We fit it in there, and that would be my transportation outside the airport. But so far, I've only gone to Provincetown, Mass, biked around there. And it's really fun when you do that, to get off the plane and be able just to bike anywhere. And I've also done Martha's Vineyard, which was amazing with a bike, because they literally have the bike path go right up to the airport. So you leave the airport, and you go right into Edgartown. I checked out Jaws Bridge, where they filmed one of the murder scenes of Jaws. So that was cool. That's why they call it Jaws Bridge. But all those videos are on the Eric Flight YouTube to check out. But those are the type of flights that I want to do. And they weren't even cross country, but I'd like to do cross country to get the time in, but I also want to kind of have a purpose once I get out of there, because I am taking time away from my family. I do feel guilty about it from time to time, but if I document it and I'm able to do fun things and do that, post it to YouTube, it makes it a little bit more worth it, which is why I also do the filming of my flights for YouTube. So, but my next flight should be Saturday if the weather holds out. This past Saturday the winds were a little rough, so I called it, and I think I'm gonna try Danielson, Connecticut again. just to have that cross country by 3 nautical miles. 53 nautical miles away. So I can log it. There's not much to do there either. But just to get that cross country time in, say I've been to Danielson. So just keeping my little checklist of airports that I've hit and going to airports that I have not. So but now we got it trimmed out pretty good. Still a little nervous about the speed, but we're just going to go with it. If I start fiddling with that, it goes all over the place with the D10. So, and we are now over Bellows Falls, New Hampshire. It's right over there. That must be Bellows Falls. The scenery is really, really nice. So. Small New England towns are very nice to visit. Summer, spring, and fall. Winter, it's a little harsh. One time I was gigging up in here in the middle of winter in my 20s, and I remember my wife, who was I wonder if she was my fiance by then, but a big part of knowing she was the one was she'd come in to the gigs and just rough it out with me, but just knew that she was a keeper at that point. But we were going up a mountain, and I didn't have a 4-wheel drive truck because I thought I was going to California after I got out of college, of course. And I never made it out there. So I had a 2-wheel drive truck, and I'm going up the hill, and I'm literally, it's rear-wheel drive, and the truck's going to the side as I try driving up the mountain. And it was like, yeah, this isn't good at all. Luckily, she was asleep for half of it. But that was about 3 a.m. in the morning driving back to Massachusetts. And I just remember, I was like, oh, God. You know, I got all the band equipment in the back weighing down the truck, which is good for rear-wheel drive, but it was horrendous. And then going down, I was slipping down a little bit. It wasn't good. It was not good. But we did make it home in one piece without an accident, so. And then camping with the guys one time in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, which no stories will be told about that. That was a good time, too. But as you get older, you know, things slow down a little bit, so. All right, if you're looking at a sectional at all, we are coming up on Hartness State Airport, Kilo Victor Sierra Foxtrot. It'll be off to our right, just to give you an idea of where we are. And we'll be crossing into Vermont pretty soon on our way to Ticonderoga, New York, so. This RUT is Rutland, Vermont, so it kind of shows you where we're going. And yeah, again, there's not many visuals to point out here, just nice scenic scenery in New Hampshire. Heck, I can't even fly to Maine because you need a coronavirus test to be there. So, but New Hampshire is one of the states that will allow people from Massachusetts in there, as well as Connecticut, so. It'd be nice to go to Bar Harbor or something sometime in Maine, but I also have a former coworker who lives up there that was again going to visit this summer in the plane, but unfortunately coronavirus happened, and then that kind of scrubs those plans all along anyways. So, but let's check outside again, give you a little scenic view here. Springfield's up here on our right off our 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Excuse me. We got some mountainous terrain ahead of us, but it's going to be at 2,300, and that's the Peru Peak Wilderness area. And we got Bartonsville, which is a really small town down below us, as well as Chester, New Hampshire right here. Yeah, really scenic, really good. And Hartness State should be off to our right over here, which it is, right over there. So yeah, really good, nice scenery out there. 21 minutes out from Fort Ticonderoga. Well, I shouldn't say Fort Ticonderoga. From Ticonderoga, New York. 4B6, which is our destination tonight. And I guess we're not going to get that evening flight unless I do a flight back, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do time-wise. So we'll land at Ticonderoga and probably call it a night. But see, I'm already yawning. Gotta stop yawning because I'm having kids. But it's a good flight no matter what. So. That trim's going up and down a little bit, so we're good. I didn't get really a pressure reading here, so let's check out Rutland Southern Vermont Regional Airport, 118.375, and we'll get a altitude pressure reading here.
Kilo Romeo Uniform Tango Automated Weather Observation 2100 Zulu. Wind 011 at diner. Visibility, tree. Sky condition, few clouds at 700 feet, few clouds at 4,300 feet, few clouds at 12,000 feet. Temperature, 7C dew point, 10C altimeter, 3034.
3-4, okay.
Kilo Romeo
There
Uniform
you go.
Tango Automated
All right,
Weather
I also forgot to put on VATSIM Unicom that whole time, but I don't think it really makes a big difference. There's not many people flying here. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock at night here, so excuse me if I yawn. I even got to sleep in today till 9 a.m., so that was very welcome. We're going to start our descent pretty soon. Probably once we get over Rutland, we'll start our descent, and pattern altitude there is about 1,300. It's 274 MSL at Fort Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga Airport, excuse me. I keep saying Fort Ticonderoga. But that would have been cool this summer to do this in real life. Take the e-bike. Basically, it's 3 miles north of Fort Ticonderoga. I asked about if they have like place for park bikes and stuff. They're like, yeah, you know, it would have been awesome, but just couldn't do it. It was closed till like July. And then even then it was like special COVID restrictions, so it wasn't worth it. So we'll save it till next summer if we can even go then. From what I heard, unless they get the vaccine out, we're not going to be back to normal, maybe even with the vaccine, until fall of 2021. That's what I've heard, at least. So we'll have to see. Have to see. So how's everyone out there? We still alive or what? Feel free to chat. So. We're coming up on Rutland, and we also have Ludlow. I believe we're in Vermont now. Let me just verify that, but I believe we are in Vermont. I'm looking for the border on the sectional, and I don't see it. Oh yeah, no, we're definitely in Vermont. Yep, across that river. So Ludlow, Vermont, which is a major ski area, as you can tell, and that is the town of Ludlow. But this is a lot of the winter escape areas. I don't ski myself, but if you do, it's kind of like the Utah area of New England, because that's where all the ski resorts are. So if you don't live around an area where there's skiing, that's what it looks like in the summertime. Ooh, sorry about the yawns. And Rutland actually should be kind of in front of us out there. I think you can see it. Yep. So we're going to overfly Rutland and then start our descent for Ticonderoga. We do have to keep our altitude a little higher though, because they have some mountains at 2,285, as you can see over there, and a little bit in the distance. So we'll monitor the descent as we go down, but It's very nice flying on here, and I'm gonna have to do this for real sometimes. Sometime. The mountains are definitely gonna be different, and I know to expect a little bit more winds and stuff with them, but definitely something I want to do in the future. And if you're just tuning in, we're almost to Ticonderoga, New York. I'm not doing my typical around the USA flights because out in California where we left off, actually let me get that right there. It was, oh God, Santa Rosa, California. Our next destination had overcast at 400, and it basically was forecasted for the rest of the night. So, seeing that I like to use real world weather, that wasn't going to happen. So we decided to take the Cirrus up and go from Plymouth, Massachusetts, my home base in real life, to Fort Ticonderoga. It's kind of like redoing a flight I wanted to do this summer in the Cessna 172. And we did it in the Cirrus instead, on the Simulator for now, until we can actually get enough reason to go there with COVID restrictions and everything. But I have my flight headset hooked up to a Pilot USA headset adapter to the PC. So that is what I'm using. I'm using the Bose Ace 20. Yeah, I bought these when we couldn't fly for 3 months because the flight school was closed for COVID. So I bought them on eBay. They were brand new, and I got them for $850. So I had to pull the trigger on that. And they have been awesome ever since. But I trained with the Faro G2 passive noise reduction, and I still have those. Those are an awesome set, but I bought the Forever pair. So yeah, it's my real-life Bose A20 headset hooked into the adapter for PC. So I think that might be in the links section of the YouTube description if you want to check that out. But I have two of them because if my son flies with me, I give him my old headset and we kind of plug in together, so it's like real life, and you can practice with little kids that way. But we're just above Rutland. We have a little bit of rough air here, and the clouds are coming in, so I kind of want to get underneath these clouds if possible earlier than dealing with them at the airport. So we are going to almost start our descent here. Just have to get over Rutland a little bit more. But yeah, these Bose A20s are fantastic. I don't know what you have, Fritz, but my instructor was a little bit more traditional. He had the Dave Clark's on. Dave Clark's, I think that's what it's called. So, but he used to fly for Bar Harbor Airlines way in the back, way back in time, and he also flew in and out of Boston and stuff and did some government work, and then he became a science teacher at the high school I teach at. And again, we just got to know each other because I had to teach in his room. It just was a coincidence. And when I went to go flight training, I went there to flight school, and they had good prices and everything. It wasn't just because of him. And I actually didn't even start with him. And then they switched me to him when my instructor left to go get more hours and pay for the airlines, which is a typical thing, obviously. So, and coming towards Asia, Shraritha, I will, just not tonight probably, but I will. I promise you I will. So, all right, well, almost over Rutland. Right there, Rutland, Vermont. And again, we'll start our descent, but we gotta be careful of some elevation in front of us. We have a place right now, Lake Beaumessine, that has a point of 2,285 feet. So we'll definitely clear it, but just to be cognizant of what's around me, and that detent's driving me crazy. All right, let's descend at 25% power here. It's hit or miss, honestly, on the real world weather. Sometimes it's really good, other times it's off. I will say that when I had to cancel my flight the other day, it was gusting to 25 at the airport, and I got home and I flew the same flight in the simulator, and it definitely did not feel like 25 knot gusts like it was reported in the real world, and I'm descending way too fast here, sorry. But yeah, the weather engine has something to be left to be desired. And I'm really hoping that Active Sky comes out with its own weather. Rex Studios said they were going to come out with their own weather engine for this. But it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's pretty good on like the visibility and stuff, and other times it's not so good. So with patch number 2 though, it got better. So just the physics have to be a little bit better on all the planes. They float a little bit too much too. But yeah, Kansas, huh? Very flat out in Kansas. It's funny because my flight instructor was like, oh yes, he actually taught out of a university in Chicago for a while too. And he would meet people from like the West and they'd be like, oh, this is no problem, blah, blah, blah. But in the Northeast over here, we have mountains and trees, which affects the wind greatly when you go landing. Yeah. Yeah, they fixed that patch too, and it is better, but still have some things to be desired. Like, see how it's bouncing up and down? That's cool, but it doesn't feel like a gust. It doesn't pull the... Yeah. Exactly. You do know how to fly in wind, though, because you don't have anything to block it. With Plymouth there, when you land on 3-3, it's nothing but trees around that little threshold that you go over. And when you get right at the top of the tree level, you feel those winds pushing you, you know? So that was something to get used to, but it's good training. Very good training. And then I went to go get current and night landings before COVID. I think that was in January. And it was 20 knot gusts. So I was like, all right, well, I'll go up for a full stop landing once and we'll see what happens. It was freezing first off. It was like 12 degrees out. And I remember crabbing the plane to go straight, like literally like that, and I was going straight like towards the camera like this. It was crazy. It was in the 152, but good experience, you know, because you don't know what you're gonna get into sometimes if you're landing. So yeah, definitely keeps you on your toes. Yeah. But we are descending for Ticonderoga, and we're just gonna watch this little mountain range over here. It is very scenic in New Hampshire. I gotta give it to you on that. Actually, it's Vermont now, excuse me. But this is the last big city. Rutland's the last big area of civilization before we get to Ticonderoga. So, another destination I want to go to is the Woodstock Festival site where they had Woodstock. That would be pretty cool. That was my second pick for a trip this summer. But again, that didn't happen due to COVID because once you get there, I didn't know what to expect at the festival site, which probably was still open, but Ticonderoga definitely wasn't open until July, though, and then even then, like I said, they had special protocols, and I didn't want to fly out there and not get in there, so. All right, I guess I'll increase the mixture, even though it doesn't mean much on the Cirrus model here. I'm about 75% rich here. And you can see it did absolutely nothing for the RPMs. So, I don't get it. I mean, I'm not expecting much because again, it has the prop, but it really did not much of anything. Do you see anything happening? Not even the manifold pressure is doing anything. It's going from 10.2 to 10.3, and I'm going literally between 25 to 75%. So we'll just mark the mixture inoperative, I guess. I don't know. All right, that peaks at 2,285 feet, so we're going to go a little faster here just to get ahead of that peak. And watch our speed at the same time, so. All right, full rich on the mixture. Why? Because we can. And we'll slow that descent by going a little faster here. Okay, might be good to keep 1,000 over that, so you know what? I'm gonna go to level here. And we'll clear that mountain before we descend further, but for some reason on the simulator I haven't been doing my descents really well. I'm usually a little high when I get to the airport, so I'm gonna go a little overprotective here today. That was weird. I thought the actual scratches that were in the thing there, so. Yeah, no, you don't see much of anything. You got the EGT here, fuel flow here. I mean, watch. I'll lean it again. We're leaning. Do you see anything happening to the fuel flow? No, it stayed at 14, and I have it almost down to 50%. So the mixture is not. I got it like 25% now. It's really not doing much of anything. So I don't know. I mean, I don't fly the Cirrus in real life, but that doesn't seem realistic to me as a pilot. And we are clear, so we'll start our descent a little bit more now. About 25%-ish. That's what I saw in the video, at least on YouTube, of the person doing descents on the Cirrus. But I'm going to trim up too, because it seems like we're going to fall a little too fast on that. And that would be Lake Champlain out in the distance, along with Lake George to our left there. So we are just about in New York, which is right over that river. And that just kicked down there because, I don't know, we must have a weather station with 122.8 around. So let me change that for a second, and let's get the weather from Rutland right here.
Visibility, tree. Sky condition, few clouds at 700 feet, few clouds at 4,300 feet, few clouds at 11,900 feet.
Because Rutland's probably the closest it's going to be.
Kilo Mike Alpha Lima, automated weather
And that's going to make me angry. That's another problem with that sim, is that if there's a weather station with 122.8, it keeps coming through. But oh yeah, you can actually give tours, yeah. And bush flying is amazing in this. I'm not a bush flyer myself, but everyone in the Virtual USA Flying Club's been doing that stuff, has been just like amazed at what you can do. Yeah. So the mixture works on other models, like the 172. It's fine. You know, that's pretty realistic. It's just the Cirrus. It doesn't do anything. Absolutely does nothing. We are going to go runway 2 for Ticonderoga. So what I'm going to do is I'm heading a little south of the airport. I could overfly it and do the 45, but I think I'm going to do a left base entry and just let me make sure that can't remember what 2 is, if it's right or left. Runway 2 is left. Runway 20 is right. So we will cross Lake Champlain south of the airport. You know what? No, we'll do a direct in for runway 2. So we're still going to head south of the airport, but we'll do like a very extended right base, which no one has to know about, obviously, because we're very extended. And we'll head directly into Ticonderoga. But the problem is now, if I go to the CTAF, which is 122.8, it's got a weather station on it, which probably wouldn't happen in real life, seeing that I'm around Ticonderoga. So that's not good, because the CTAF is 122.8. So I will leave it on 122.8, I guess, and we'll just turn down the comm radio volume, which has to be somewhere. I forget where it is. Oh, there it is. And we'll just pretend that it's off. How's that? And we'll still report on VATSIM, even though no one's really out here. So Ticonderoga traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, 7 miles to the southeast. We're setting up a straight in to runway 2, Ticonderoga. Again, Ticonderoga is going to be out there on the right. I believe that that is Mount Defiance and that is Ticonderoga. Mount Defiance was a big thing in the Revolutionary War because the fort, which is right here, I believe, they could set up cannons here and fire on the fort, so it wasn't such a good idea to build that there. But this would be one heck of a scenic route there. Okay, pan altitude again is 1,300. I'm mostly a gauge guy. In the real world, I've only flown gauges. I've never done panels at all. But obviously with the Cirrus, you would have to do panels. But I like the gauges better just because I'm used to it from real life. So a lot of people, I think a lot of people when the panels first came out, they were really skeptical. Like, oh, well, what happens if the electronics go down, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But I don't really have a preference. The only preference I have is for gauges because that's what I've flown in real life. So it's not that I would not fly with a panel. But definitely it's different. I like that it has the topography here, stuff like that. Not that I look at it a lot. But we are slowly making our way for a straight in runway 2 at Ticonderoga here. And when I fly the 172 SP that's in this, I fly the gauge model, which is with the Premier Deluxe version. So that's why I got the Premier Deluxe version, so that way I could have the steam gauges. But for the 172, my flight school has a 172M, 172N, and a 172P that you can rent, and I actually prefer the 172P. It just seems a little, I know it's not, but it just seems a little roomier, and the useful weight's 2,400, whereas the M and the N are 2,300, I believe. So when flying friends up there, I'm not the lightest person, but you could fit people in there and not be as worried. So 152, forget it. So, oh, definitely. I definitely agree with you on that. And I didn't have an electronic flight bag when I did my training or anything either. I did the traditional way all around. So it's like you know what to do when there's a problem. Get the paper sectional out, already have it routed out and stuff. But this just makes it a little more efficient, if you know what I mean, on getting everything done. So, all right, we're making a pretty good descent here, which is good. Ticonderoga traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, 5 miles to the south. We're straight in for runway 2, Ticonderoga. And there it is right there. In front of us will be Fort Ticonderoga, which is right there, which they do have, but it looks like a generic building on top. But that is the fort right there in the Guest Visitor Center. This is part of it too. The airport is literally over there, so we're going to get past this Mount Defiance, get out here more, and land on runway 2. So we're going to start slowing up here a little bit. Let me get my speeds out. Okay, landing. Full flaps, 25% power, 85 knots on final. All right, so let's slow this down a little bit. We'll do 25% power already, just to slow it down. Flap extension speed, 50% at 119. So we have to go level it out a little bit, just till we get to 119 and put some flaps in there. That's Fort Ticonderoga. It's a Revolutionary War fort. I believe it was first built by the French in the French and Indian War. And then Americans took it over and dragged the cannons back to Boston early in the Revolutionary War. And brought to Boston to siege the British in Boston. So, all right, we're going to go full flaps now. And we're going to ride this speed down. So I'm going to slow down to 85 knots for an approach speed. Let's make sure I got that. Yep, 85. And we should be good. So you can see that's right around though stall speed. Well, we're looking really good. This airport is really small. I'm gonna trim up just a little bit. There you go. But yeah, I was at Fort Ticonderoga as a teenager, I think, with my parents and stuff. But we took like a Lake George trip and we drove up here to visit the fort. So I want to kind of do that again, bring back the experience, if you know what I mean. All right, I'm gonna maintain a little silence here while I land this. Okay, no power at all. We're just gonna glide right in. A little low, but it's okay. Yeah. Got my peripheral vision going on. See that? It's very floaty. All the planes are very floaty. And there's a turnaround up here. And even if you, all right, flaps off. But see that? I tried to do aerodynamic braking and the nose just wants to fly again. So I don't know what's up with that either, because you'd think at about 40 knots it wouldn't want to do that. Okay, I gotta apply some brakes here. Thank God it's uphill. It'll help me with braking. And we're gonna turn off to the left here. Just to check it, and then we'll go around this big taxiway and back taxi. So, all right. Ticonderoga traffic, Cessna Foxtrot, we're clear of runway 2, Ticonderoga. All right, and you can hear the fuel booster going on. After landing, flaps up. They are power level at 1,000. We're almost there. And transponder, I'm gonna leave on. Pitot heat is already off, and fuel pump they say should be off. So let me just check. Yeah. All right, so let's back taxi here. We'll stop here, make sure that's clear. Which it is. I don't expect much traffic over here, but Fort Ticonderoga traffic, Cessna Nautical Foxtrot, taxiing via runway 20 to parking Ticonderoga. And we're good, so let's do this. So yeah, that's basically why I chose this, to go to that fort. In real life, just wasn't able to do it with COVID. So we took the opportunity tonight to do it with the Cirrus. Exactly, about the paper sectional. You always have to have redundancy. I have my cell phone with a VAR in it. I have my tablet, which is my first go-to with a VAR. And same thing, the real world. I have the real world checklist. I made one for the Cirrus though, based on the POH. So I just took the POH and took a sample 172 and put the same type of information with all that stuff. So I will be doing that. But I usually use the what are they called? I have the, give me a second here. I have the name in my head, it's just not coming in my head. Checkmate checklists. The flight school uses them, so I basically just scan them into my tablet and I have them there, and I have the real ones for backup when I'm flying the plane. So, but the Cirrus one I made myself, so. But it's the real world stuff. It came right out of a POH for a Cirrus, and does everything I need it to. So, but I have my throttle basically at nothing, and I'm just sealing down this hill at 20 knots, which is right about where it should be. It's a jog, you know. So, but just scanned in real world checklists, and the Cirrus one again is mine, but it's based off of real world procedures due to the POH. So. And everything's on my tablet. You probably won't be able to see this because I'm using, but right there, I got a Samsung Tab S3, really cheap tablet, and use a veer on that. So the interesting thing about the taxi here is that it veers off and it goes all the way back there to parking. There's only one taxiway to the runway, so you have to be very cognizant of any traffic taxiing to the runway. But yeah, there's another person that follows me on the Arc Flight YouTube channel. He flies in the Northwest, but he's originally from Plymouth. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I want to say this too loud, and it's not that I've done this because I've scanned all of mine from actual checklists that, you know, I have. But you can find them in PDF format often online if you want to. Yeah, exactly, you know. So, I mean, you can even find full POHs online for models of planes. So, which I also like having for the sim, just to refer to as a real private pilot. But yeah, they have a they have a marshal over here for the plane, which I don't think that would happen in real life because I believe that this is unintended. Another oddity of the flight sim experience here. So, oh wait, it's just ground crew. I don't have a marshal here. Oh, so it's a little bit more realistic. But yeah, we'll send the drone out after, and I'll show you the fort. It's about 3 miles south of here. And typically, you know what, I'm not even going to follow that because typically I turn the plane this way and taxi it up. So, yeah, they actually do give you a stop signal if you have the marshal there. Once in a while, you'll get a marshal with the ground crew, and you can park it like real life. So that is cool, but the thing is, they're everywhere. Like, literally, this is a non-attended airport. And this guy's like, oh, yeah, I'm here to help you, and blah, blah, blah. Like, literally, I'd be doing this, shutting it down and pushing it back with the tow bar, you know? But it's cool. All right. So I'm looking at my self-made checklist from the POH. And after letting flaps up, oh, yeah, I got all that. Avionics switch off. And again, by doing this, if I ever do want to fly the Cirrus, I would be a little bit comprehending of what's where. So fuel pump is off, which I already did. Mixture, cut off. All right. Probably should turn off all the electronics first, though. So let's do that. All lights except for strobe, which is the anti-collision lights. And that's good. All right. So mixture, cut off. Which it works then. Mags off. I don't know why it went back to start, but we'll just switch that off. Battery and alternator. Master switches off. And then we'll turn the strobe lights off. Very good. The LT transmit light should be off, which I don't even know where that is right here. But it is what it is. The chocks and tie downs will put the parking brake on. Because we are on a hill too. And that would be right over here. So again, that is a cool thing about that. Oh, yeah, don't worry about that. You have to be like totally accurate with the hole coming in there. But yeah, the first couple times I didn't get it either, so don't feel bad. All right, let's look outside with the drone, shall we? Go a little higher here. I do like the ambient noises though. Well, that's where we landed runway 2. And that is very much like the real life. In fact, I edited the prepared airport to look like this before this came out. So, and it looks very, very authentic compared to the default prepared version. They even have the windsock in the right place, as long as they have a windsock there, that is. Which they don't. They put it up there instead, but it's cool. You have a windsock at least, right? But you can see that it's a very unique airport. The fact that you got one runway, you have a little taxi there, turn around, and the fort, again, this is Mount Defiance. That was a big place they put cannons in the French and Indian War, I believe, to drive the French out of the fort that they built. And oops, sorry, I got the field of vision going on there. That's also another thing when you hit F2 to increase the drone. Yeah, the drone's a little weird. WASD, like first-person shooters, that's how you move it around. And then now, this isn't even working, but it's supposed to... Come on now. Well, I locked something out, so sometimes even for me, it's not going to be perfect. So R and F go, R's goes up, F goes down, and then WASD moves it forward and to the side like a first-person shooter. But here is... And this is not letting me rotate. Wait. Oh, there we go. I slowed down the rotation, that's why. But here's the fort right here. And this would be a little bit more modeled if it wasn't generic. Because this roof is not on there in the real world. It's an open court right there and some buildings in the middle. But this is the guest visitor center. This is the fort itself. And then they have the gardens off the fort. And they had a couple battles here. It fell into disrepair. I'm trying to remember all my history here because I researched all this stuff, wanting to go there. I'm just like a geek like that. But in the late 1800s, it was very in disrepair. And then some family went and basically built it back up to its former glory. But there's a lot of Revolutionary War stuff in there. Musket balls, stuff like that. And they have demonstrations. And there's cannons on top. There isn't this wooden roof. There's a walkway. But it has cannons and stuff. And what I would have done this summer is I would have flown in there and I would have biked all the way from there to here, locked up the bike here, went on the tour, visited the whole place, and then rode all the way back and flew home. But unfortunately, COVID kind of ruined that. So, but they have like a corn maze here I read about in like the fall, but they're not going to have that probably. So that would have been cool for people that live there. But yeah, it's right on the lake and everything, and yeah, it seemed like a cool place to go visit for a day. And you could do that too, coming from Plymouth. You leave early in the morning, you land there, tour the fort and everything. And the actual town, I don't even know if it's a city or town, but it's right over here, Ticonderoga. And they had a couple like places you can eat and stuff. So it'd be like a nice day trip. You go early in the morning, fort, maybe go into the town. And I have an e-bike. Again, I bought that during the 3 months I was off as well, because the YouTube income let me do that. And we just went right back, flown back, maybe got back in the evening. And as you know, on rentals, you only get charged for how much you fly. So it'd probably be about $350 for the whole ride, which seems a lot, but not for the amount of time that you'd spend. And you could definitely log that as a cross country and have a reason to go. So I'm thinking next summer, hopefully, we'll make that happen. Depends on what happens if I'm going to do the instrument training and how much I'm earning on YouTube then, because it does go up every year because I keep releasing videos. But I'd like to take my son on a trip too. And then to go back to your plane, you just hit on the number pad 5 and it goes back, the drone, right to your plane. And insert is how you activate it. So if you're in the plane, you hit insert and it does drone mode. So if you go to the button settings, we'll go over that. Fritz, fly with me sometime. We'll go over that. But it's a very good thing to have. And it's kind of like the old slew setting and prepared in FSX. So anyways, it's getting late here tonight. And I do appreciate you all watching. Glad that you could join this flight to Ticonderoga, which was not planned. I was planning on doing more of the California flights for my around the perimeter of the United States flights, which hopefully will end in November. That's a somewhat timeline. We'll see if we can do it by then. And yeah, I hope to see you all in a future streaming videos. Remember to like and subscribe on Eric Flight on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search up Eric Flight. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Help me out. And also on Twitch. If you could go to Twitch and click on follow on the Eric Flight channel, that would be appreciated as well, because we're trying to get more follows on Eric Flight. But we're going to keep releasing real life videos as I can do them. I still have one more I have to edit to Wyndham Airport, which was in, oh God, what's it called? It's in Connecticut. Can never remember the town though, but it's Wyndham Airport. It's a really nice GA airport out there. And hope to edit that video soon and get it up there. So, Fritz, it was great meeting you tonight. Everyone else, it's great seeing you again. I can't thank you enough for following my streams here. So, but yeah, if anyone ever wants to fly, again, we will try to announce these flights in advance. So I can't do it on YouTube so much, but check out the Virtual USA Flying Club and you can become a member and you can fly with me there too, as well as others. We always like new members. We're about 400 people strong, but the typical fly-in's about 20. We've gone all the way up to about almost 40 people on a fly-in before, so it's a good time and it gives you a reason to fly, and there's no pressure. It's not like you have to fly so many hours in a month. So that link is on the panels in Twitch below, or I put the Discord. You know what? I'll put the Discord one more time if you want to join the Virtual USA Flying Club, because it is a good experience and we're always looking for new members. So if you're interested, it's on Discord. That's where we are. And you can join that. And other than that, just stay tuned. Keep following my stuff. And hopefully we'll fly soon in the future, Fritz, and other people that are interested. And I will see you. Have a great night.